Ian, thanks for having us in your collection. This
You're
is
welcome.
absolutely wonderful. Wonderful, unique, special, everywhere we look.
It's a fun room, you know, when you've got a bit of a car addiction.
Good word.
And you walk through the doors, I guess, you know, this stuff is dream come true, kind of fairyland stuff. So, you know, for me, having that passion for all of the years growing up as a kid, and never in my wildest dreams would have thought I could afford a Ferrari, let alone a collection of cars like this. It's pretty surreal.
Sure. So this is all the way back to your childhood, like the Testarossa poster on the wall.
So my dad's favorite car was a Testarossa. So a few years ago, when this one came available, I had to buy it for my dad, really for reasons where I wanted him to drive what was his all-time favorite car. So I bought it. It's got 800 miles on the clock, so it's super fresh. And my dad took it out for a spin, and we parked it right there, and it hasn't moved since.
When in your career did you decide that you're gonna, or why would you buy one, and what was it?
Well, you know, that was a you know, kind of when I go back to getting my tour card to always wanting my first real cool car. So I would have said a Nissan GTR R34 was, for me at the time, the big blue fin on the back, the electric blue. That for me at the time when I was sponsored by Nissan was a cool car. And really, when I got that car in 2000, it was, okay, now I've got the bug. This is a real car. It's 0 to 60s quick. It handles great.
It actually stops.
It kind of stops. It's a bit heavy, but I mean, it kind of stopped eventually as soon as you take your foot off the gas. But, you know, for me, it was always, you know, where can I take my car game to, and how can I fulfill the passion that I have for motorsport?
So the car guys at Orlando, they know you're an enthusiast. They know you're active. You've been.
We go to Carson Coffee
all the time. They're saying.
In fact, there's one this Sunday. Just it's only about 2 miles down the road, and you know, there's a great group of collectors, car enthusiasts. You know, there's cars across the spectrum, and that's great about a Carson Coffee. It's you know, it's always held in a nice, spacious place. We got great people who love their cars.
There's some regulations, which is nice.
Yeah, nobody's doing burnouts or donuts or revving or that kind of stuff. So it's done in a respectful way. They raise money for charities,
Which is always good.
which is awesome, which we love. We always love the charity aspect. Vince normally attends as well. He's been down there a bunch, and they're just good people.
There's a gentleman behind you who's looking at me with his hands open. Anything special in this building that connects directly with him?
Enzo. You know, when I think about Ferrari and I think about the heritage, dating way back to the original Ferrari race car, to him in the bread bin car, which is on the wall behind you, and to see what he meant for Formula One and motor racing, and Ferrari as a brand, to grow that brand to what it is today. You know, I think the last car that he had association with or saw or was part of the design aspect was the F40. So from the original 288 GTO, which was classed as the first supercar, which the car behind us is the car that he drove to Jack Suarez to deliver it to him, to the F40, which was the last supercar that he saw produce. You know, I think today he would be pretty proud to see where Ferrari's gone today as a LaFerrari, as an SF90, as the, you know, the cars, the F50, the Enzo namesake car. You know, I think he'd be pretty proud of where they are as a car company today. I think the race team, you know, we're 2020. The race car's not quite as good as it was back in the day, and I think, you know, Ferrari, through their race history, have had their ups and downs. They've been super dominant, and they've had struggles. And the race team right now is going through their little struggle time. But the brand is so strong that they'll figure it out, and they'll get that portion of their business back to where it needs to be. And I'm sure at some stage they'll win another championship, and they will do Enzo proud of what brand he kind of nurtured and grew to the brand it is today.
So you've been a car guy for a very long time. You probably have tried and used almost every product under the sun. What brought us together? Why are we here?
There's a number of reasons. Being a car fan and being a fan of making sure your cars always look nice. You know, you're always kind of striving to use the best equipment, the best products, and use the best people to maintain what you absolutely love. So, you know, being based in the UK for a number of years and moving to America, very close to my home back in the UK, is Gtechniq's headquarters. So it's 20 minutes from my house. I understand about the product. I know how good they are from a detailer's perspective because of the detailers that are actually using the product. So for me, there was a synergy. As someone based in the UK, lives in America, has some nice toys, and I want to make sure and maintain that they have, you know, all of the aspects of the car looking as good as they possibly can. I'm really OCD. I love looking at, you know, nice shiny paintwork, and, you know, I kind of illuminate the cars in a way where if they're not cleaned properly and they're not detailed properly,
you see
then
it all.
this light's going to show everything. So, you know, I stopped cleaning the cars myself a number of years ago, just A, because I didn't have enough time, B, because I couldn't do it as good as Vince, my detailer today, and it's his life, it's his passion, it's what he knows as his business, and I'm not going to ask him to hit a golf ball for me, so I'm not going to ask, he's not going to ask me to clean the car. So he does a great job.
He's been with you for quite some time.
Yeah, we've been together now for probably 6 or 7 years, I think. And he follows the same passion that I do when it comes to the want and love for great cars. He himself has some fantastic cars, which he loves. And when you look at somebody who's taking care of your cars, and every time he parks his car, he puts a car cover over his car while it's exposed to sunlight during the day, to me shows that someone takes care and attention of their car. So someone that does that to their car can happily detail my cars all day long.
So 6 years ago, you were custom fitted for a very special Ferrari. Could you tell us what that entire experience was like?
The process was amazing, and at the time, having a 280 GTO, F40, F50 Enzo, and kind of the missing link was the all-important LaFerrari, was nervous times from a collector who needs to be invited to buy the car. You know, I was kind of, I was always on edge, am I going to get this invite? Yes, I've got some amazing cars, but, that for me at the time, and benchmark, when you look back to the last supercar they made in 2002 was the Enzo. 13 years later, all that time had passed without there being number 5, the next one in the collection.
Technology just went crazy in that time, and
we go into part electric, strapped onto the back end of a V12. So, to get the invitation to go to Maranello to spec what at the time was just the most incredible car Ferrari have ever built, was an absolute honor. So I remember, arriving, going to the Atelier department to go and, spec out all of the stuff that you can spec on the car. Ask what color you would like. I had to keep it in the red, but I wanted to make the inside just a little bit different to the other red LaFerraris.
You wanted to make the inside Ian.
We wanted to just twist it up a little bit, right? You don't want to, you don't want it to be the same as everyone else's red LaFerrari. And I would have thought at the time red would have been the most popular color of choice, which it normally is anyway. So we added some gator skin inside the car across the dashboard on some of the parts of the seats, the armrest, the door handle. And
if you ever got rid of this one, it wouldn't be hard to find.
No, there's only one. There's only one that's got gator skin inside, so it'd be pretty easy to find it. The way I look at it, there's a all-time wish list of cars which I absolutely love. And it's not just Ferrari. You know, when you look through some of the best supercars in history, McLaren F1 is the benchmark, really, which I think was one of the supercars that changed supercars of today. It kind of really was way ahead of its time. So, you know, to buy that car today, you're talking $20 million plus. So again, you know, it's not realistic unless I go and win the FedEx Cup, which you know, hasn't happened, and I'd love to. But you know, there are so many significant cars in the world that would always attract me, and they're eclectic. E-Type Jaguar, you know, from a collector's standpoint, looking at some of the cars we have here, it's a very doable thing to add that to the collection. You know, a Mercedes Gullwing. You know, I love my Mercedes. I'm sponsored by them, and I drive them as my daily drivers. The family drive them. They're great cars. And when you look at that, you know, the Gullwing from back in the day, what a great looking car. So there's so many cars that through the years I've always had a love for, or attention to detail of why I love that car. I'm not sure I'm ever going to be in a position to fulfill that list.
Can you show me the neighborhood in one of these?
Sure, no problem. I think what we should do is I'll grab the bucket of keys, and we do a lucky dip. See how that works out.
I love that.
Let's see. TDF.
All right.
Let's do this.
We'll take it. Is this one of the newest editions?
Yeah, so we got the TDF in, we've probably had it 2 years, I'd say. And we've covered 315 miles. So it's been driven a little bit. I was really nervous when I spec'd the car about three and a bit years ago with Luke. I took Luke over to Italy. We went into the TaylorMade section and sat down, and I again wanted to be like, I want to do something unique, Luke. Let's find a colour that's different to the norm of colours. I don't have a blue car, so I'm like, I really fancy blue. So so let's go with the blue. And I found this blue on their whole array of blues, and I asked Eleanor in the department, I'm like, how popular is this blue? Is it kind of, she said it's a new matte blue that we have. It's not really been used that much at all. So I'm like, done, we're in, I'll have it. Let's do that blue. That'll be awesome. Thank you, thanks for coming. For everybody at home, hope you enjoy. There's a reason why we support good people and they support us, Gtechniq. Happy to have you guys in the house and the museum to show you guys around, and you guys will be seeing some cool content soon.